Oh, told you to quit smoking.
I don't smoke.
Oh. What? It's the bronchitis. Remember bronchitis? You need absolute bed rest. And it only took me a week to get over it because I did the smart thing and actually stopped doing everything. And you were a little busybody, right? Your idea of stopping is like only working half time. So
Yeah.
it took you like twice as long, right?
Well, I didn't even know I had bronchitis,
Well,
which was strange.
typical entrepreneur.
Yeah, there you go.
Denial
There you
about
go.
anything that stops us from working.
But you know what? The thing we want to talk about actually today is cutting yourself some slack. Whether it's bronchitis or other life events that end up happening that maybe you saw that some of it was going to happen and some of it catches you totally unawares. What happens is we often get really kind of upset, kind of like, how am I going to get whatever it is done? Or just, we don't even get upset. Maybe we just keep trying, to deal with the personal thing that's come up and to deal with the program we're developing or whatever
We're
it is.
strong women and we can do it all, right?
Yes, and we don't want to have something get in the way. And we
Well,
feel
because
really
that's
bad.
personal, right? And this is all business. And it's, well, you know what? We're one person.
Yeah.
When they talk about work-life balance, well, you only have one life. And sometimes, your personal life takes over. Like when you have a family event like you've had recently.
Yeah, my dad passed away and then we had a lot of executor stuff to do, whatever. Suffice to say, it's been months and months of a lot of stress. And the thing that, I realized, we all plan our year, right? And we have our first quarter and our second quarter and our third.
Goals and written down, and this is what we're tracking them.
And and last December, if you see on this, whichever side of this it is, down here on the video, Patti and I did a whole episode back in December, January about planning your year, right?
Yeah.
So first quarter, I had X that I was going to do and Y I was going to do and Z I was going to do.
Different programs.
Different things. I was
milestones.
I was going to launch this great program, and I'm still working on it. Well, first quarter, this stuff happened with my dad, and so I shifted it into second quarter. And then, somebody smart said to me, Kathy, sometimes, stuff, you keep moving it quarter to quarter. Sometimes you just got to ditch it, and, it doesn't always fit.
And it's 2019, right?
And this stuff is okay. But the other thing is, so that's number one, right? You realize when things happen, and, I'm sure it's happened to you, stuff happens, and you just have to allow for things to happen.
I call it the self-imposed stress too, because you set your goals.
Yeah.
Is nobody's holding a gun to your head saying you have to do it.
This is so
right.
true.
There's no gun in our head, so it's our own kind of internal guns. They're going, oh, but I said I committed it to me. I promised myself. It's like, that's okay. Like you said, cut yourself some slack. Give yourself a break.
Exactly.
It's like when my dad passed away, and I was, when you think nothing worse can happen, well, when I was in the middle of a divorce, and then when I thought nothing worse could happen, then my dad passed away. So I was pretty messed up.
Not ready for prime time. Yeah.
No, and I didn't give myself enough time to heal.
Yes.
And 2 years later, when two other parental figures passed away, that's when it caught up to me, and I had to take.
And that's what it does. It catches up to you at the most inopportune time.
That's right. And if you don't deal with it now, you'll deal with it later, and it will take longer later than dealing with it now.
Yeah, and what was interesting for me was one or two, sometimes you pick a word for your year, whether it's whatever it is, And for me, I was thinking of the words trust and allow. And these were very meaningful for me. And wouldn't you know it, this situation that came up on a personal level, what it did was really make me realize I had to trust, I had to allow, I had to exhale, I had to let stuff happen. And I was saying to you, Patti, what ended up happening in part was that you start to realize how all of these things very interestingly intersect, right? You're working on a program, and I love this program, and I'm going to launch it. But as I'm working on this program, some of the lessons I was learning from, going through the personal stuff actually informed what I was saying in the program.
So it's going to actually make your program even better.
Absolutely.
Totally better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I would not have recognized that. It wouldn't have registered if I just kept going and going. I'm going through all this stuff personally. I've got all these deadlines because I'm an executor and all of that, which if you know this.
You've got clients too that you've got deadlines
there's also
for.
clients, exactly, right?
There's an insane book that you wrote in the middle of that.
Yes. I edited a book on a very tight deadline.
You wrote a book. Go through it. ghostwrote.
That was the one. It ended up being an editing instead of a ghostwriting. But
okay.
yeah, it was on an incredibly compressed, right after he died. So, I mean, you know how that is. As you said with your dad, right? Everything hits at once.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, let yourself realize that it's okay to let go of those things. Like you say, Patti, they don't have to launch tomorrow. No one is looking in and telling
Nobody's
us.
Gonna
There's
know.
no judgment.
Yeah, and if they do, you just say, sorry, shit, stuff happens.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know when it's right. But it's going to be even better. When you set those boundaries for yourself and don't let other people invade them. Because that was one of my problems. When one of my best friends said, "Oh, you should be over this by now." It's like, "Oh, yes, of course I am." Because I'm this.
Those are the people you don't really need to speak to now, or not necessarily indefinitely. Even.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't know enough, and I was just in that horrible stage of wishy-washy, didn't know where to live, and it was just, I don't know. You just, but in hindsight, now I know, take the time off, honor yourself, honor your body. There's a lot of lessons to be learned, and you can pass them on to your clients.
Yeah, and realize, exactly, and realize, how we often hear, and I really believe this, that stuff does happen for a reason. And I'm not saying that my dad died for some reason related to my business, but the thing is that you have to take these things and realize, honestly, somebody used to say to me, and I take this all the time and I think of it, what is the lesson and what is the blessing, right? And so in any of these situations, what am I learning from this? What can I take from this? And invariably, there is at least one or two threads in whatever you're going through personally in that moment that you can incorporate into your business. That, as you say, Patti, is going to make whatever the project is that much better. Yeah. Because that part of, of all of this stuff, having a business, is just what I like to do with my clients, which is going deep, right? It's about really feeling what you feel and allowing that to work itself through you and taking the lessons and doing the exhale and
being human. Yeah. If you're being human, you're being open and vulnerable, and that invites other people to be open and vulnerable with you. Exactly. And when you have that kind of meeting of the minds, it benefits the whole world, to be honest, Exactly. Because, when you put on that fake facade of, oh, I can handle this. Yeah. No, you can't. You can't.
It will bite you. Yeah. It will totally bite you.
Because, at some point.
Because all that's going on inside you, right? All that emotion. Yeah. And you're suppressing, showing up, being great.
It's going to explode. Road rage. What do you think road rage happens? It's not because of that person cutting you off. It's all that suppressed feelings, the grief, the anger. Whatever. I mean, you got to go through all that whole thing, and you got to get the anger out. You got to get, go through the grieving, because losing a parent is until it's happened to you. It's
a milestone. It's a life milestone, right? Yeah.
You're an orphan now, aren't you? Which is
I actually am.
Yeah, I know. I still.
I find that sort of weird because I mean, this is going to sound Pollyanna, but I really do believe it. We have all this amazing support here. But we have so many people.
I'm your Ursak's father. No, I know you kept saying how much older I am than you. I'm your granny, your mom.
You didn't hear that on this episode.
The one before.
Yes, the one somewhere before.
Nothing.
I've been under stress. But don't milk it, okay?
And don't underestimate the power of humor to get you through these life situations. Yes. There's lessons, there's blessings, and there's always humor, whether it's kind of dark or not.
Yeah. But what do they say? Comedy is tragedy plus time. Yeah. That can be a week and a half. That can be 5 hours. Yes. That can be a moment
Here's a shout out to Deborah Jan, who will slay you with her potato masher story, because it's funnier than hell.
Who is she?
Deborah Yan. She's
Y-A-N?
J-A-N-N. Okay. And she's rolled out innovation. She's got a new business coming up, and she was going through a divorce, and her potato masher story will just slay you. She actually, in her time of stress, she went and did comic stand-up.
Brilliant.
So, yeah.
So I'm visualizing the potato masher in many, many different ways.
And the fight over the potato masher, and whether she gave up too early about it. So, yeah. Cool. So humor works. Humor really works.
Yeah, so cut yourself some slack, feel what you feel, and sit back and let stuff work its way through your system, and you will realize and let go of all those projects that you think you have to do yesterday.
The must-dos, the should-haves. Yeah,
and
forget that.
Invariably, there will be threads and lessons and learning from what you're going through that will really make whatever it is that you launch, when it's the right time. Now is not it, right? But when it does launch, it's going to be amazing, and it really will have that depth and that resonance that it never would have had. Yeah. So cut yourself some slack and find a buddy
that you can laugh with.
Yes.
And cry with, and
Yeah. All of the above.
All right.
Ciao.
Next
See you
time.
soon.
Bye.